And perhaps no one knows more about the impact of gun violence than former Congresswoman Gabby Giffords. And in a rare interview, just before President Biden signed into law the first major gun safety legislation in nearly 3 decades, she sat down with Morning Joe reporter Daniela Pierre-Bravo.
What do you hope to accomplish this year with Giffords?
Save lives, save lives, save lives.
What's your advice to people looking around their own communities and, wondering what they can do to help?
Be a leader, set an example, be passionate, be courageous, be your best.
And what do you think is required for us to get to a point where there is meaningful legislation change?
Democrats, Republicans, everyone, we must fight to stop gun violence now.
That interview was part of our 50 over 50 partnership with Know Your Value and Forbes, shining a light on women in their 50s and well beyond who are proving that their most powerful years are yet to come. This week, the women fighting for gun reform. And joining me now is Morning Joe reporter Daniela Pierre-Bravo. And Daniela, for Gabby Giffords, this is so deeply personal.
Yeah, good morning, Mika. Yeah, Giffords is a victim of gun violence. She was shot in the face while she was holding a meeting with her constituents in a parking lot in Arizona in 2011. Over a dozen others were also injured. 6 people died, including one of her staffers and a 9-year-old girl. Giffords' injuries include a condition that impairs her speech. And despite that, her advocacy took the fight to the next level. She's had permanent and debilitating injuries, but she does not give up. On Saturday, she took to Twitter and called new legislation a critical step towards stopping gun violence.
Yeah, she's incredible. And what's so great is these women that we're covering today, they really bring their knowledge and their networks to the table.
Yeah, and that's exactly what women like Shannon Watts also brings. She's also 52 and is the founder of Moms Demand Action. The day after the Sandy Hook tragedy, Shannon started a Facebook group with the message that all Americans can and should do more to reduce gun violence. It took off, and now there's a chapter of Moms Demand Action in all 50 states.
That's amazing. And I would think, I know from talking to most Democrats and gun control advocates, they'd like this legislation, but they'd like legislation to go a lot further. There's a mass shooting practically every day. It's an epidemic.
Yeah, exactly. And we talked about that with Erica Ford. She grew up in Queens and saw the devastations guns brought to her community every day. At 57, she is an activist and founder of Life Camp, a leading violence prevention organization that targets high-risk youth. When I asked her about solutions around the issue, of course she agrees with legislative changes, but she also stressed that investing in communities of color is also important.
On both sides of the aisle, the Republicans and the Democrat, we need them to find a way to, as you just talked about, how do we help communities heal from all of this gun violence, right? How do you invest in communities so that people could go out and work with those who have the highest potential to shoot somebody or be shot, right? And divert those young people into activities that can lift them up to see hope, right? To see the opportunities and resources that can give them new life.
All right, Daniela, thank you so much for bringing us that. And don't forget, nominations for the 2022 50 over 50 U.S. list are still open. The women who make our U.S. list will be honored at our 2nd annual Global International Women's Day Summit in Abu Dhabi next year. The first summit was remarkable. We had generations of women from the Forbes 30 under 30 list and our Global 50 over 50 lists. Our incredible speakers and the venues, the UAE's Presidential Palace, the Louvre in Abu Dhabi, and a closing event in the desert. We did a lot of mentoring out there as well. The key to these events are mentoring, cross-cultural, multi-generational mentoring, and women's right at the forefront this year. We can't wait for our next summit in and around International Women's Day to celebrate the next U.S., Asia, and Europe, Middle East, and Africa 50 over 50 lists. We have gone global. For more information, head to knowyourvalue.com and Forbes.com.